In this video, I'm going to just show you how to make sure you've got pewter cut and ready to go for the pouring, and also to make sure that you set up your mould correctly. So first job, take a hacksaw. This is quite an old-fashioned hacksaw, but they will do the job. Has small teeth, relatively medium-sized blade, and we use that to cut our material. So pewter is in here. Pewter is an alloy, and it has a low melting point, so we can use it in what we're doing today. And we're just simply going to draw back. I'm going to cut off about 2.5 centimetres worth of pewter. Just cut it. Being careful, of course, minding your knuckles on the vise and making sure you don't catch your fingers on the way back, okay? Often what might happen as you're sawing, the friction builds up in the actual saw blade and the material, and it makes the work quite hot. I will continue to do this and get that cut off in a minute, but just for the sake of the video, we're going to line up all our moulds. So I'm going to put my mould on here. So this is a blank piece, which we're going to use to put that one against. We put another one on top to sandwich it so we can pour our metal inside it. I'm just gonna need to put my acrylic where it needs to go, but I need to attach it to the back somehow to make sure that it doesn't go wrong. And you can see in here, I've got my little grooves as well, so the acrylic doesn't come out of the pewter. So I'm just gonna use some Pritt stick to hold it in place. Put a bit on the back of there. Stick it down in the right place here. Like that. Make sure the other one's in the right place too. Once they're stuck down, I will use another piece, put it on top and get it ready for the casting. Here is our little setup for melting our pewter. I've got an industrial heat gun here, which heats up hot enough to melt our pewter. We've got a small ladle here, and we've got some pewter inside it. I've put some heat bricks around here, first of all to protect the area from the heat gun, but also to help keep the heat in for that little ladle, to make sure it keeps the heat in nicely, because it does take a while to heat it all up to get to a sufficient point to get it to stay molten enough to actually pour. Down here you'll see the mould that I prepared earlier. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the other side on there, and then I'm going to clamp that in a little vise like this, and that will hold it in place ready for my pouring. Once you've heated your pewter, obviously you'll be wearing safety equipment, but you should just be able to pour very carefully and very tidily into this mould here so it comes out the top. And that is the pouring completed. Once it's cooled down a little bit, you should be able to take that piece off and reveal the final shape. If you take it off too early and the material is not cooled down enough, it becomes very easy to it crumbles away, because the structure of the bonds and molecules inside the pewter haven't fully formed into a solid. What you can do is you can run this piece underwater to cool it down a bit faster. It generally works better if you leave it to cool naturally in the air, to give yourself some time to make sure it bonds properly and the structure remains nice and intact.